Hello, everybody. This is Dren608. This is my Thanksgiving 2023 thank you video. Thought you all might want to see with the face behind this voice that you've subscribed to. As of this recording, I recorded 251, I think it is, 251 subscribers. So thank you all for subscribing to the channel. um, as you can see from the videos that I've posted and that you've watched, I am not trying to make super professional videos. I am more on the lines of trying to give you an everyman's view of video games and some strategy board games that I've played using either Vassal modules or on the Board Game Arena platform, which I highly recommend. Board Game Arena platform has a plethora of games. You can't get your local gaming group to play your favorite game. Go on to Board Game Arena. It might be there. You might be able to find some people across the world to play with. Um, it has both asynchronous and live games, so it works really well. I also use Vassal to do a lot of board games as well. Those those are usually involving strategy games. A little background on myself. As you can see, I'm an old guy, and my glasses are glaring like crazy. So I'm going to take my glasses off. This is what I look like normally with my glasses on. But we're going to take them off just so I'm not glaring into the screen. Um, as you can see, I'm an old guy. I've been playing games since I was 15 years old, so 50 some odd years, I guess. I started off with original Avalon Hill war games. Played just about every strategy game I can think of. Not every one I can, not every game that was ever published, but every game from most of the games from Avalon Hill. Uh, I also started when I was 17 or something. I used to Games Master Dungeons and Dragons from the original 3 pamphlet books. I stopped when they went to 3.0 and slash 3.5 and Pathfinder came into being. I pretty much had my world created in the second edition of the rules, and that's the one I run when people want me to run a D&D. Not too many people ask me to do that anymore. My family is in a current campaign because they wanted to see what my world was like. I don't know if they enjoy it or not, but we do play like once a month. As to the YouTube channel, it started off just because I wanted to record a game called Unconditional Surrender Europe, which is published by Salvatore Vasta. Thank you, Sal, for developing that, and GMT for publishing it. I should say GMT published it. It's a fairly simple game to learn the rules. It's has a lot of strategy and almost tactical nuances within the way the game is set up, and it plays fairly quickly. You can play all of World War II in I don't know a couple weekends if you really wanted to, if you dedicated yourself to it. But that's how this started. And then I branched out to a couple of other war games, Starship Troopers. I did a solo playthrough of Civil War by Old Victory Games. I think that's going to be republished now by another publisher. Other than those things, I was like just kind of searching around for something else to do, and on Steam up popped the original what's it called? Bard's Tale. So I did a series on Bard's Tale. I got a lot of people interested in that. So then I did a series with Pathfinder Kingmaker, and people seemed to like that. So I was like, well, maybe some of these computer games, if you play it from the get-go of not reading all the wikis and not trying to figure out what the best strategy is, you know, the meta builds and all of that kind of stuff. So I don't do that. When I'm playing games, currently my current set of videos and everything has been Kenshi. I do have a stream on Pathfinder where I took a vote from my subscribers. The vote came out to run a female monk trying to romance one of the companions named Tristan, and so that's what I'm doing there on Saturday mornings. I did a short stream on Xenonauts 2, which is a republishing, sort of a upgrade from Xenonauts 1. I was a Kickstarter on that, and I do a lot of the beta testing before you see the milestone early release things. They're about ready to release their second milestone on the early release, and they've changed a lot of the gameplay elements because of what we, the beta testers, told them that, hey, this is this is too short, this is too long, this is too expensive, this is too cheap, all that kind of stuff. So I'm very much involved with that. And they are listening to those of us out here playing the game and our suggestions, and they're doing a really bang up job on that. It will not be a Baldur's Gate 3, I guarantee you that, but it is in the vein of the old XCOM games before FireX. But before FireX's XCOM games, there was an original one back in the 1990s done by Microprose that this is much more similar to that. And that game was voted by some of the gaming magazines back in the 1990s as the game of the century for that computer game of the century because of what it did and how it managed to give you gameplay. So that's my background on things. I did want to make this video so you can put a face to the, who is this guy that talks all the time but never shows his face? Well, here I am. Like I said, I'm an old guy. I'm retired. I part-time work just so I can get out and socialize with people. But in general, this is what I do. I putter around the house, doing all the things that need to be done when you're a homeowner, and I make videos. I try to make my videos be games that either my sons have pointed me to. I have a couple games coming up that I'll be starting here probably in the next week or so. I'm going to be doing one that my son plays. It's a mechanized warrior type game. I can't even remember the name of it. You'll see it when it pops up. So I'll be starting up that one. For Christmas, I am planning on, if no one else buys it for me, I will finally break down and buy Baldur's Gate 3. When I play it, it will be from the somewhat uninformed side. I mean, I've seen the videos. You can't miss them. They're all over the place. So I have some idea of what they did. I've seen a lot of the reviews, written reviews where it's like, hey, this is such a fantastic game and all that stuff. I've also had my sons have gone through some of the videos that have been out there, and they're like, well, it's not following the Baldur's Gate legacy, Baldur's Gate 1 and 2 storylines. And I'm like, well, it's got Baldur's Gate in it, so they can use Baldur's Gate, and I'm interested to see what they've done. I understand that it's a huge game. You can't even do everything in one run through, which is good. Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous was very much along those lines. There's certain lines of exploration and stuff you can't even do in that game because of your alignment and your class and things of that nature. I kind of like games like that because then it makes me want to come back and play them again. Because, hey, I didn't try that path. Let's go try that one. But when I do these games, at least the first time through, I do try to go through as what I call everyman mode. Everyman mode basically says, I am not going to go out and find the meta build and show you this super powerful build that's just going to break the game, and this is how you do it, and these are all the right things to do, and things like that. There's a ton of people that's how they make their livelihood. I'm not really in this to make a livelihood. I'm here to build an audience that wants to see some old guy that programmed computers for 40 some odd years of his life sits down and plays computer games or plays board games and does videos on them to say, this is how normal people play this game. Not the super, geek out people that figure out every way to beat the game and how to game the system and how to win every time because they have the perfect meta build or near perfect meta build or whatever, or ways that they can build different meta builds to keep beating the game and things of that nature. There's a lot of people that do videos like that. If you want that, I strongly suggest you go find those people. They're out there on YouTube. They have thousands of followers. People want to know that stuff. They want to know how to, beat the game, that kind of thing. The one thing I do use wikis for, I am very much not into videoing me spending 3 hours trying to figure out a puzzle. And a lot of the video games these days, especially the role-playing games, they think it's important that you have to sit here and you know, find all the clues and then sit here and, you know, trial and error through a puzzle to try and get through that particular phase of the game. For those, I do go to a wiki. I'll be honest. It's like, okay, I have an idea of where I would have to go and do all this stuff. Do you guys really want to see me run around the world for, you know, 4 videos trying to find all the clues and then piece them all together in a 2 hour long video while I sit there and go, is it left, right, left, up, or is it right, down, left? You know, that kind of thing. To me, that's boring. You want to see the characters run around doing what they're supposed to be doing to further the story. So I tend to kind of skip those parts. And that's when I go and look up a wiki. It's like, you know, I type into Google this game name, this game puzzles. And it brings up a thing in the wiki that points me at the puzzles page. And it's like, okay, which puzzle is this? It's in this dungeon. I just go look at that puzzle. I don't look at anything else. I look at that puzzle. Okay, that's how you solve it. I go solve the puzzle. And then the next video, it's like, okay, this is how you solve the puzzle. You know, I show you what the solution is, but I don't sit there and give you the research part of it. If you don't like that, I'm sorry, but for me, it's not entertaining to sit and watch somebody, you know, spend a half an hour trying to figure out which button to push first. I'm more into let's get on down to the story and see what's going on. I do try to keep my commentary going. There are times when I just get so enthralled in the game, you'll hear silence like for 3 minutes while I'm sitting there clicking on things and you see characters running around. And I'm not saying a word. And it's because I'm so engrossed in the game, I totally forgot that I'm recording and I need to be talking. So a lot of times you won't hear me talk, especially if some of the games have voiceover, you know, voice actors. Anytime voice actors talk, I try to shut up. Because that's part of the ambience of the game is hearing the voices of the characters. Um, in many of the games that I'm in, I have been somewhat disappointed. Owlcat Games did 2 Pathfinder games, and they're coming out with a Warhammer Rogue Trader, I believe it is. It's coming out very soon. I don't think it's coming out either this weekend or next week. I can't remember. I'm not on the Kickstarter of that one, so I'm planning on picking that one up for Christmas too. So that one in Baldur's Gate 3 will probably be what I'll be doing a lot of next year while I'm maintaining the ones that I'm doing now. I am going to be trying to get a couple of opponents for some strategy games to get back to doing some of those videos. So I am going to be filling up my week with various recordings of different game types and things of that nature. For those of you that are wondering, earlier this year, you'll have to go back to like in January in my videos list. I will try to find it and put a link in it in this description if I can find it again. I have to search through my things because I didn't put it, like a dummy, I didn't put it in a playlist, so it's kind of like, where did I put that? So I'll have to go search for it. But I did a video that kind of showed my collection of my Steam games, and also gave my Board Game Geek user ID that you can go onto Board Game Geek and look there for the games that I own, because I am a firm believer in supporting the gaming industry. I do not play pirated games. I do not play games that I do not own. So if you want me to do a board game, and there was one request, somebody asked me if I would do a specific board game, and I said, well, I don't own that title. If it's sometime in the near future I come across that title and I can pick it up, then I will pick it up, read the rules, and try to do some videos on it. But I'm a firm believer in supporting the gaming industry, and if I don't have the game, I don't do videos on it. I don't even play them on Vassal unless one of the 2 people playing owns the game, because that's what Vassal was for. It's just like sitting down at a table in that particular format. You know, you both don't have to own the game in order to play. One of you does, and so I support the gaming industry from that point of view of somebody's got to own the game for you to play it. And in my case, when I'm doing videos, I own the game. So, as a general rule, if I don't own the game, you won't see me do a video on it. I might point you to the game and say, this sounds like an interesting title. You might want to go check it out sometime. But normally, I own the game. I do the video based on the fact that I own the game. And my philosophy on videos is fairly simple. Like I said, I want to do sort of the everyman approach. I'm not the expert on a game. I'm learning as you're watching my videos. I'm learning how to do things. If you've been watching my latest Kenshi videos, which I'm up to 135 of them now or something, 136? Oh. Um, I'm up fairly high on those, over 100 videos on those. And it's been a struggle, and I've learned as I've gone along. Um, I also try to play games without mods to start with, unless there are certain things that are required for me to. In the case of Kenshi, it was designed to allow you to mod things in that just never made it into the final product. Some of those things is they only have like 3 or 4 different kind of training dummies, and people modded so you could get more of them, so you could train up more stats without having to go out in the world and spend, you know, literally game hours just doing nothing but repetitively doing something so you can get your stats up. I did try to go through and figure out how to do them all, so I know how to do it without the mods. But then once you know how to do it, it's like, okay, do you guys really want to see videos, or do I want to spend 6 hours just letting the game run while I try to do my, get my stat up so I can actually do what I want to do? That to me becomes, number one, it's tedious for me. And like I said, I'm an old guy. I don't want to sit here in front of my computer for 6 hours just to get somebody's strength stat up to 30 or whatever number I'm looking for. So I did get some mods that helped me do that. One mod actually corrected an error in the game system with one of the buildings. You would keep getting errors on when you tried to travel into the building, and you'd have to like save and restart to get it to fix. Somebody made a mod that basically just fixed that glitch. So that was the first one I added. And then I also added something like a dark UI because the UI was really bright white with dark black. I mean, high contrast, very hard on the eyes. And again, I'm an old guy, so I like it. I like my dark UI controls because then I can actually stay at the computer longer. And then I added a couple of others because there were certain mods that the game wouldn't allow you to do certain things. And as I was developing my characters in that game in Kenshi, I came across some mods that allowed me to tell the story I wanted to tell. And Kenshi is, by the way, Kenshi is it is literally an open sandbox role playing game where your actions affect the world. So, you do this, you like bump off this boss, something's going to happen. And you're not sure exactly what it's going to happen because you might have done something else earlier to some other faction that makes them, you know, react in a different way. It's a very interesting open world. Um, but I came across, my starting area was just basically a bunch of ruins and a bar and a thief tower, I think it was. And I was like, I'd like to like just rebuild this and make it a thriving town or whatever, and just see what I could do. And in order to do that, I needed some certain buildings that you need when you have a base. I couldn't build because I can't build inside that territory because it's not mine. And so rather than there was one mod that said, oh, you can just claim these things and then all the people go away and it's just your people there. And I was like, oh, I don't really want to do that. And then I found another like 2 or 3 mods that allowed me to add certain buildings were what they called, normally they're outdoor buildings that you have to build in a non-controlled space. This allowed me to build them in buildings that I controlled. So I had to build like 3 buildings like that in order to do what I wanted to do, which was rebuild the hub. And that's what I did in the first 100 videos. As I just spent all my time getting research materials and everything, and I rebuilt the hub. And then someone suggested me that, hey, do a season 2 and do the middle game. And I guess the middle game is you're at good enough stats that you can fight quite a few of the critters out there. And then you go around and you decide what factions you're going to support or whatever. And then, you basically are manipulating the world and deciding who's going to, win, quote unquote, uh, the state of the world. And that's been interesting. The last 35, 36 videos have been interesting in finding out things that I didn't realize and things I need to do. It's an interesting experiment. Um, but I also want to do some other games. So I'm going to be doing that in the future. So be prepared. Kenshi will not be the only thing you'll see me popping up on the channel. There will be some more um, computer games that, like I said, I'm going to be getting for Christmas. Baldur's Gate 3. And then I'm probably going to also pick up Rogue Trader. So I will be doing those next year. 1 or 2 videos a week on those as I'm putzing through them. Basically, I dedicate about 3 days out of my week, 3 mornings, plus Saturday morning streams. But I dedicate like 3 days. It's like, okay, Mondays I do this game, Wednesdays I do this game, Fridays I do this game, Saturdays I do my morning stream for whatever stream I'm on. In this case, I'm doing Pathfinder Kingmaker. And then Sundays is kind of like my editing day. I might do a couple videos to like, oh, we need to finish that story just to make it make sense for people watching next week. And then I publish those things all up a couple days later. Usually on, a day later I do any, if I get into a video and I find out, oh my God, I didn't have the sound on, which happened to me a couple times. Didn't realize that I'd hit a mute button on my headphones here. When I thought I was playing with the volume, I hit a mute and then nobody was talking. And it's like, here's a whole silent video. And it's like, do I really want to publish a silent video? No. So I go back to that point in the saved games, and then I, re-record things. And things may not happen exactly the same, but at least you get a video that's complete. So that's kind of my plans. That's kind of who I am, where I'm at. I have several children, pets. You'll hear them from time to time if you're listening to my videos. All of a sudden, you hear the dogs howling. It's like, oh, mailman's here, or somebody's coming through the door that was out, or something like that. So you'll hear that from time to time. It's just the nature of the beast. I don't have a studio. I'm recording these out of my basement. My sons and I basically took over the basement. There are video game or computer game havens. That's where we go. That's what we do. I'm trying to encourage my sons to do some videos because I think they would make very good videos, much better than mine, as far as gameplay and commentary and things like that. Most of my commentary is very much, like I said, it's everyman. The average person that says, "Gee, that looks like a neat title. Let's go try it. See what it looks like." That's what I want to give you. I don't want to give you the expert opinion. I want you to see the games as they should be played. Now, some of the board games, I will maybe go the other way. Like in Unconditional Surrender, I'm in the top 12 or 20 of the people on Board Game Arena in ratings. So I kind of feel it's my position to point out obvious stratagems. I'm not going to tell you all of them because I want to use them against you. But, some of the obvious things I will go over. When there's improvements or game rule changes, I'll go over those. For the Xenonauts 2, expectantly waiting for Milestone 2 to be released because we have to get, until they officially give us the date that it's going to be published, we're not allowed to publish any videos on the new Milestone. So even though I'm playing it and seeing what they changed and what I like and what I don't like and all that kind of stuff, I can't publish anything because it's not released yet. So they still have their Milestone 1 release out there. It is a good game. It needs more stuff, and we're putting more stuff in it. So the developers are working hard to get more gameplay into it and tweaking things that are definitely off in the first Milestone that needed to be, cleaned up and balanced out to be a little bit more game balance-wise. There were some things that it was like, oh, this is a definite exploit. We gotta end that, and things like that. So that's not just like, oh, this is the trick. This is how you win. You're done. That makes a game not fun to play 2 or 3 or 4 times. I'm striving to make sure that the gameplay in that will be like, you get done with one of them, you're going to want to try it again because you want to try something different, see if it works better, or if this would work at all. And as long as games give you that, I think they're good. They don't have to have snazzy graphics. You don't have to have super, need a cutting edge gaming PC with the greatest graphics card in the world. If the story isn't any good, or if the gameplay, if it's not a story driven thing, if it's like a war game or something, if the gameplay isn't any good, if your decisions don't really matter, in other words, if you don't make these decisions this way, you lose. That's not a game I want to play. Quite honestly, it's like, okay, you figured out how to beat it, you beat it, and then why play it again? Because you know how to win. I prefer games that give me the, different paths to get to the end, and actually tell you a little different story. Because like in Owlcat's Pathfinder series games, and I hope they're going to do this with Rogue Trader, um, you pick your class, you pick your alignment, and then there's a set of things that will happen because of your alignment. And because of your certain class, there's certain things you can't do, and certain choices in dialogue that you can't have because you're neutral evil, and neutral evil people don't get the neutral good choice. You only get the other choices, and so it gives you a different path to go down. You still end up at the finale screen or whatever. It's only like one or two choices or whatever it is. You only have a handful of choices for the ending, but the path to get there is completely and totally different. Those kind of games I like to play again because, hey, it's a new experience. I hope you like the videos that I'm doing. I purposely keep my face off the screen because as much as some people like to see the players, my reaction as I'm doing it or whatever, you can pretty much hear my reaction in my voice. And I want you to see the whole screen. I don't want you to have my little corner, picture down in the lower right-hand corner or something messing things up. These games have a lot of good graphic views and things like that. That I just feel like those pictures down there, I really don't need to see what you look like while you're playing. I'm much more interested in the gameplay you're talking about and seeing what's going on the whole screen while you're doing it. And you can make videos like this that show me what you look like. That's why I'm doing this one. It is Thanksgiving, and I am very thankful for all my subscribers. I'm thankful for the people that have given me comments because you've helped me get a little better at this, and you've also helped me, have ideas to try things. Um, like mid-game in Kenshi, I got someone said, "Oh, by the way, if you do this, you don't have to babysit your guys so much." And I was like, "Oh, I didn't know that." So it helps me too. You'll get people out there that are like, "Oh, yay, you forgot that you can do this," and it's like, well, I hadn't found that out yet, but now I know. So then I go ahead and mention it in a later video and say, "Oh, by the way, this is something you can do," and somebody in the comments let me know this or whatever, and everybody knows now. So, like I said, my approach is to come from it from a person's, you know, your average person that's on Steam and looks at a game and goes, "Geez, should I try that?" Well, if I've tried it, you can come look at my videos and you can see what a non-expert stumbles through. I have played computer games and things for a very long time, so a lot of it is kind of like, oh yeah, I can see what they're going here. So I get some of that intuitiveness because I have done it before, in general. Um, but I do like putting these videos out. I think they're helpful. Uh, they're not super professional. I'm not making a living at this, so they're not all this snazzy stuff that I see other guys do. Um, there's a lot of YouTubers out there that are very, very good at what they do, and I appreciate all the work that they do to get those channels up, make those channels work. And I support them as much as I can. I mean, I at least subscribe and hit like buttons when I see their videos because I might not be able to afford, a lot of money to support them on their Patreon or whatever, but I can at least give them, boosts on the algorithms in YouTube. And that's pretty much what I ask everybody to do for me is just the like button. Um, if you want to know that if you're really interested in the series I'm doing, you can hit the subscribe and hit the notify bell. And then when I end that series, you can turn off the notify bell. Then you don't get bothered by all the other things I'm putting out that you could care less about. So, I do appreciate the people that have subscribed. I appreciate all the comments I get. I appreciate the like buttons I get hit. Um, thank you all very much. And I think I'm going to go ahead and close this out. I hope you enjoyed hearing a little bit about my background and my philosophy on making these videos. And I hope you continue watching. So, with my signature sign off, until we meet again, stay safe and bye bye.